Question 2, this is a deployment question. A deployment question. How do senior leaders deploy the mission and the vision and your values? So there's mission, vision, and values. And who do we want you to deploy them to? Workforce, residents, and any other key customer. So you have to answer all 3 parts to all 3 people, meaning there's actually 6 questions here. 6 questions here. Question number 1, how do senior leaders deploy the mission? By the way, deploy means tell. How do you inform? How do you let anybody know? How do people know about the mission? So how do senior leaders tell the workforce what the organization's mission is? How do senior leaders tell the residents or patients what the organization's mission is? How do senior leaders tell other key customers what the organization's mission is? How do you do it? How do you do it? Again, the word how means process. We're looking for a process. We're looking for a step-by-step. And here's something I want to point out here too, is there is formal and informal, there's effective, there's anecdotal, and there's systematic. Consider some blanket answers on how, let's just pick workforce. How do we tell our workforce what the company's mission is? Well, we could post it near the time clock. We could have it written on a plaque or in a frame in the front lobby. We could have it written in the employee handbook. We could have it on the website. We could even have it on an email signature line. We could have shirts made up with our mission on it, right? And that is potentially how we deploy our mission to our workforce. Here's the question. How effective is any of that? How effective is having the mission statement printed on the website? How effective is that for your employees? Like, can you go up to every employee and go, hey, what's our mission? And they'll tell you? Maybe not, right? Like, having it simply posted somewhere could be effective, but it could also be a little bit more anecdotal. And it's certainly not what we would call systematic. So how could you answer this question? And by the way, I'm not telling you that having it in the lobby, having it posted by the time clock, having it on the website, having it in the employee handbook, I'm not saying that's not right. I think that's beautiful. I think that's great. We want to see that. We want to see that it's posted everywhere. That's, of course, a perfect way of deploying the mission, letting everybody know what the mission, plastering it everywhere. I'm a big fan. Plaster it everywhere. However, yes, and in addition to that, how could you make the deployment, how could you make telling your employees, the workforce, about your mission, how could you make that systematic? And by systematic, I mean, how can you make that measurable and repeatable? Meaning, what if you had an in-service every year that included the mission of the organization? Now what we have is, in addition to it being posted everywhere and we put on shirts and jelly bracelets and by the time clock and on the website, in addition to all that, now you also review the mission with all the employees every year in an in-service. All of a sudden, that is a systematic process because it's repeatable and measurable. We can tell you how many times we do it, how many employees attend, right? We can measure it and we repeat it. Now it becomes systematic. That's probably so you want to do both. You want to go like this is, it's posted everywhere, and you want to have some sort of a systematic process. It's the same for the vision, and it's the same for the value statement. How do senior leaders tell everybody, your workforce, your residents, and your other key customers? And when it comes to other key customers, what most of us are talking about are family members, and let me just erase my little 6 questions here. And whoever else you answered the who question on in the org profile, who are your key customers? You have to answer for every one of them. If you said that one of your key customers are hospital discharge planners, then we want to know what process do you use to tell the hospital discharge planners what your mission is, what your vision is, and what your company values are. And by the way, it's great to say it's on the website, it's posted on the wall in the lobby. Great, it's an email signature line, love it. Those are perfect. They're just not systematic. So tell us how you systematically, repeatable, measurable, systematically let your family members know what your mission is, what your vision is, and what your values are. Let your residents know what your mission is, what your vision is, what your values are. You have to answer all 3. By the way, keep in mind, 6 questions in that first one. That second question. This question, 1.1b, is actually 6 questions. Yeah, 6 questions. And you have to answer all 6.